All right, everyone. Hello, welcome to Restorative Yoga. Today we're going to focus on, for lack of a better way to describe it, opening up the front body. So think about openness across the chest and the shoulders and the pelvis, which probably will feel like hip flexors and quadriceps. And in shapes like that, it's like being in a back bend for an extended period of time. And so what I suggest for props is something a little bit more dense, such as a couch cushion, bolster if you have it at home, but couch cushions tend to be similar in density to a bolster, or blocks. And in the absence of things like that, a stack of blankets or towels will do, but you probably want a little bit more thickness to it than normal. So gathering those props around you, again, couch cushions, stack of blankets or pillows or blocks if you have them. We'll start out seated. I just want us to tap into the breath for a few rounds. Especially for a restorative practice, it's very helpful in adjusting the nervous system into the state of rest and digest. So parasympathetic nervous system response. We are going to shift our breath practice for the next several weeks to a different style of breathing with the same goal of parasympathetic nervous system response. And so the breath cycle will be like one inhale and then a second short inhale. So you're trying to get maximum capacity into the lungs, and then you're going to take the air out through the mouth actually. So it'll look and sound like this. Okay, so maximum capacity through those two inhales, one long, one short, and then long, slow exhale through the mouth. So settling into your seat for a few moments, sit up nice and tall through the spine, relax the shoulders down the back and broaden across the chest. Check out the head and the neck. Want your chin about parallel, resting your arms on your thighs or in your lap. Just get comfortable. And empty all the air out of the lungs. And then begin to breathe in through the nose. Find that slight pause, take one more sip of air in, and then exhale through the mouth. So that exhale is long and drawn out. Okay, we'll do it again, inhaling through the nose. Pause, one more sip of air in. Exhale through the mouth. Three more rounds like this, inhaling through nose. Another sip of air in. Exhale through mouth. Again, inhale through nose. One more sip of air in. Exhale through mouth. Last round of breath like that. Inhale through nose. Sip more air in. Exhale through mouth. And then just draw your chin to your chest, roll the head right and left a few times. Notice how the neck and the shoulders feel today. So we'll set up our first shape and we'll find something underneath the upper back, thoracic spine. So this will be like supported fish pose if you're familiar with that. And so you can either take that bolster, couch cushion, or blocks. You want it to span the width of your upper back. So in the case of a block, it would be widthwise, okay? You can adjust the height. Here, blocks, if you're using a block, have two different settings on that width. And again, I just want you to really pay attention to where you're placing your prop. It goes at the level of the shoulder blades, upper back, not middle back, not low back, okay? Upper back. And then depending on how tight your shoulders and your neck can be, you might want something underneath the back of the head, the base of the skull. So you can take a peek at me here as I settle into this if you're unsure. See how I'm trying to lift my chest and my rib cage. And then I've got my arms stretched out wide. My head is resting on a prop, but my rib cage is elevated. You don't have to have that prop underneath the base of the skull. You can also just remove it. That would probably intensify the back bend. If you're not using anything underneath the head, just be mindful of how crunchy the back of the neck feels. If the throat's really open, chin's jutting way up towards the ceiling, and there's a lot of tension in the back of the neck, I'd recommend taking something underneath the back of the head. I'm going to settle in here for about 3 minutes. Your legs, they can stretch out long. You could also bend your knees. Soles of the feet could come together and knees can widen, like butterfly pose. And you could also plant your feet wide on your mat and let your knees knock in. So really anything you want to do with your legs. But whatever you're choosing, can you start to become still and heavy, relax the muscles of the shoulders, the neck, the jaw, the face, the arms, even the fingertips and the wrists relax. Maybe you close down your eyes. And now as we find ourselves settling into our long holds, just breathe in and out through the nose if you can. In and out through the nose, nice deep breaths into the chest and the belly. We'll take about 2 more deep breaths here. If your legs are stretched out, start to bend the knees and plant the feet. And then slowly roll off to a side. Just take a moment to pause in fetal position. You can push your prop out of the way if it's too much underneath the rib cage. And just take 2 breaths here on your side. We're going to come all the way onto our backs again without any props underneath the body and stretch the legs out long. reach the arms up and overhead. We're going to create like a banana shape with our body. But the goal here is to keep the hips, the pelvis, and the shoulder blades, both of them in contact with the floor. So we're just creating a lateral side stretch while laying down on our back. First, we're going to wiggle the shoulder blades off to the left. The elbows can be bent or the arms can be straight, your choice. And then walk the heel bones off to the left as well. So you're creating sensation along the right side of the body. And then you might want to cross an ankle. You could cross left ankle on top of right. For me, that feels more stabilizing in my hips. You could also cross right ankle on top of left. For some people, that feels like a lot of sensation towards the outer edge of the right leg. You could try both. You can do neither. You don't have to cross your ankles. I'm going to settle in here for 3 minutes. Returning to that inhale and exhale through the nose, nice and slow. See if you can get your breath moving all the way down into your belly. Maybe you're closing your eyes here and just tuning out the external world for a little while, giving yourself some time to rest. Such a valuable practice to learn how to do. And I also think it's an undervalued practice, learning how to rest, or not even learning how to rest because we already inherently know that. But I think as adults, we forget, we get trapped in that busy equals good, or busy is a badge of honor cycle. And we forget that our inherent ability to rest is something that we're born with and that we actually deserve. And in the long run, makes us better humans, better partners, better coworkers, better parents. Giving yourself that time to rest and really valuing it. Take one more deep breath here. If you've got your ankles crossed, uncross them, wiggling the shoulders and the heels back through center, and just take a moment to pause. Relax your arms alongside your body. Just letting everything come back to center. Deep breath in and out through the nose. One more breath here. And then we'll start to make our way to our second side, arms reaching up and overhead. Wiggling both of the shoulder blades off to your right this time. You can keep your elbows bent or arms can go towards straight. And then walking the heel bones off to your right as well. If you're choosing to cross an ankle, do it intentionally and notice how it feels in the low back, in the hips, in the legs. And again, you're going to get a different sensation most likely depending on which ankle you cross on top. So you can try both and see which one feels best in your body. If there's anything you take away from this practice, I'd say just remember that things can be done in multiple myriad of ways. There's not one right way to really do anything in your yoga practice. It's always an invitation for you to explore what works best for you, to listen to your body and what it's asking of you, and to make adjustments based on what you think you need, not based on what you think something should look like or feel like. So it's really a practice of tuning in to your own internal knowing, your own internal voice. Check in with your breath. Can you breathe in and out through the nose? And take one more deep breath in here. Deep breath out. Starting to uncross the ankles, wiggling the shoulders and the heels back to the center. Relax your arms down alongside your body. And we'll pause. Take one more breath. And then start to bend your knees and plant your feet. You're going to reach for one of your props. We're going to elevate the pelvis now. So working a little bit more into hips, hip flexors, quadriceps. You might feel this a lot in your low back. It's not uncommon. You're going to choose a prop. I'm going to use a block. You don't have to use a block, of course. You can slide bolster, couch cushion, stack of blankets, whatever you want underneath the base of the pelvis. So again, position matters, not the low back, but just below the low back. So your hips are lifted, and it's just like the edge of the glutes are hanging. If you were using a block, just the edge of the glutes would be hanging off the edge of that block. Couch cushion sizes will vary, so I wouldn't say glutes are always going to hang off the edge of your prop. Just depends on what you have at home. But just be sure that the majority of your weight's resting at the base of your pelvis. Take a few moments to settle in here, let the pelvis be heavy. Notice if it feels centered, if that prop feels like it's in the right spot. How do you know if something's in the right spot for you? Typically, I pay attention to the breath first. So can I take deep, slow belly breath in and out through my nose? And then second thing I look for is if I'm fidgeting a lot. There's just something that's not working, right? So if you can become still eventually, and you can deep breaths through the nose, probably you're okay. There might be a little discomfort, that's normal. But we don't want to be holding in agony. Okay, so one more option here. You can keep your knees bent and your feet planted, or you can stretch your legs out long so that the pelvis is just kind of rainbowing up and over your prop. I have about 4 minutes in this shape. And settling into that stillness, making sure this is going to be sustainable for you. And if not, be willing to make that adjustment. A lot of that comes from just experimenting. Does this work? No. Okay. I'll try it this way. Does that work? No. Okay, I'll try it this other way until you find that Goldilocks, what feels good in your body. From there, the invitation is to imagine or practice trying to release the tension in the muscles. If there's any gripping around the glutes, around the thighs, in the neck and the jaw is really commonplace. If you hold your tension there chronically, and just searching out those places where you might be gripping and where you can practice letting go. Just as a reminder, if you did choose to stretch your legs out long and it's starting to become untenable, you can always rebend the knees and plant the feet. It's really never too late to make a change. And I'd say that's true in life as well as in your yoga practice. So just remembering that and practicing that philosophy here on the mat and trusting yourself with that makes it easier to take it off the mat and into your daily life. Take one more big breath in here. If you've got your legs stretched out, start to bend the knees and plant the feet. Take it slow, step by step, and pause there with the knees bent and feet planted. So you really want to go slow on the exit for this one, especially if it feels pretty intense for you. And now, if you've still got that prop underneath the base of the spine, you can gently lift up through the hips, slide that prop out of the way. Just take a few moments here to hug the knees into the chest, rock a little bit side to side. That tissue at the low back and the glutes can get a little tender. Maybe take a breath or two in a twist, side to side. And then we'll settle into Shavasana when you're ready. As you know, Shavasana can just simply be laying flat on your back with your legs stretched out. You can always add props to support it. You can sit upright in a meditation if you prefer, or even take the legs up the wall. Rolling the shoulders down the back, slightly tilting the chin in towards the chest. Deep breath in through the nose. Deep breath out through the nose. Feel the weight of your back body melting into whatever you're on. Feel the front body softening into the back body. If you have more time to stay in your Shavasana, please feel free. If you need to move on with your day, start to awaken through fingertips and toes. Move your head side to side. Take your time rolling off to a side. And pressing to an upright seat. We'll take about 3 breaths, the same way we began. So sitting upright. You could also do this from your back if you're staying in Shavasana. If you are sitting upright, grow tall through the spine, settle through your sits bones. Empty all the air out. Begin to breathe in through the nose. One more sip of air in at the top. A slow exhale through the mouth. Slow, complete exhale through the mouth. Again, deep breath in through nose. Take one more sip of air. Exhale through mouth. Again, inhale through nose. One more sip. Exhale through mouth. If you'd like to join me in bringing the hands together at the heart and bowing the chin into the chest. Taking a moment here to honor your effort and your practice with reverence and gratitude. And may you remember that you will always be okay. May you find a light that guides you and keeps you safe. May you have hope, help, and happiness along the way. Namaste, yogis. All right, everyone, thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed your practice. Questions and comments are always welcome. I love to hear from you. And I hope you come back again soon. And in the meantime, take care of yourselves.